Hi, everybody. Welcome to Zari Ballard's When Love is Alive video blog podcast. Do you have a narcissist with money? If you do, that makes your particular experience with the narc a bit different than the norm. Today, I'm going to talk about how a narc with money is a 5-star deception. Hang on, I'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my podcast today. Today I'm talking about narcissists, money, and the 5-star deception. Before I begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell and the like button and all that good stuff so you can get notified every time I make a new video. I'm going to talk about narcs with money today because it's a little bit different than a normal experience with the narc. And I see it a little bit differently than other people. I've never really given much credence to clinical narcissistic types like classic, somatic, cerebral, etc. Because to me, when we're talking about the narcissistic mentality, it's all the same, albeit slight variations depending upon the circumstance. Now, having said that, I do absolutely believe that there exists two very specific non-clinical types, that being the low-level narcissist and the high-level narcissist. And the major difference between the two is money. I discovered this distinction ages ago in a book about narcissism called Freeing Yourself from the Narcissist in Your Life. And I've seen it play out exactly as the author described over and over. Now, having corresponded with countless victims, either through writing or they've called me on the phone, it's clear to me that whether or not the narcissistic partner has money becomes a definitive relationship game changer. Not only is a wad of cash and a lavish lifestyle key to how the high-level narcissist behaves and how the abuse plays out over time, it is also key to how the victim reacts to certain behaviors and how long he or she will stay in the relationship. A narcissist with money, like Mr. Big in Sex and the City, remember him? Oh my God, he was like the epitome of the narcissist. A narcissist with money is, like Mr. Big, capable of spinning the normal narcissistic tactics to a different level simply because he has a bigger and more expensive bag of tricks. Indeed, the high-level narcissist, like the irresistible but nefarious Mr. Big, is what I call a 5-star deception. My ex was a low-level narc, okay, and money was a constant source of contention. I was always shouldering the finances in the relationship. It's not that he didn't have money, because most of the time he had a job. It's just that a low-level narcissist parades through life with a much different mindset of, say, Mr. Big. A low-level, even with a pocket full of cash and a steady blue-collar paycheck, will always appear to have no money at all when it comes to pulling his weight in the relationship. I attribute this to one very important characteristic of low levels. They do not like to share. My ex was actually really open about that. He thought it was pretty cool in the beginning because I had money in the beginning. I was a bartender, made lots of money, and I would buy the drinks and the party materials and all that stuff, and he just thought that was the coolest thing, and I actually was flattered by that. I can't believe it. He said it to me one night. I think it was like our first date. He's like, wow, you're so cool. I hate it when girls expect a guy to pay for everything. It's so annoying. He actually said that. Can't even believe it. And actually that night set the stage for the rest of the relationship. Low-level red flags don't get much bigger than that. But when there's money involved, the red flags aren't so obvious. The high-level narcissist, like a Mr. Big, provides a target with a much different idolized phase simply because he can. A high-level narc has money and the means to make a whole lot more of it, and thus the first few dates set a far more lavish stage on which the relationship will play itself out. The target, as the narcissist intends, automatically begins to associate the fun of money, gifts, and vacations with love and affection. Love bombing is ramped up, future faking begins, and a target begins to live out the fairy tale. Now, her gut instinct might be screaming, too much too soon, and wow, this is too good to be true and all that. But the high-level narc will reassure her over and over that love is part of the whole deal. Come on, you worry too much. Let's go away for the weekend. Anywhere you want to go. What girl in her right mind wouldn't want to believe it? Now, while a high level certainly appears to be willing to share, I guarantee it isn't because he's particularly crazy about the target he's sharing with. High-level narcissists like to have fun, lots of fun. And having a date for all the fun is very convenient and beneficial. At opportune times, he will hold all of this fun over the target's head like a carrot, threatening to withhold it much like a low-level withholds tidbits of affection and or sex. See, they both use it just slightly different. The high level holds the money, and the low level holds the affection or the sex. Each type of narcissist manages down the expectations of the target accordingly, so that the end always justifies the means. I'll also add that because she's dealing with Mr. Big Type, the victim partner of a high level suffers a bigger letdown than the victim of a low level, simply because the highs are so fucking high. Okay, and that it makes a big difference. Instead of someone like me, who in response to a discard might be thinking, oh my God, how could he leave me like that? We had such a nice weekend. The victim of a high-level narc might feel, oh my God, how could he just up and leave me? The cruise ship has barely left the dock. Okay, or the plane is just landing, or we just left the beach, or, it's just a whole different experience. High-level narcs are also more capable of pulling off long-distance manipulation and deception. And this also goes for married narcs. A lot of the married narcs that the women that call me are involved with have money. They're doctors. They own companies. They're hedge fund owners. They have a lot of money, and it's pretty crazy. It makes for a really crazy relationship. And they can pull off this long distance thing, much better than any other narc. For instance, going no contact when the narcissist lives 500 miles away suddenly becomes as difficult as if he lived across town. One woman that I spoke with during a consult, she complained that every time she tried to end it, her high-level narc simply hopped on a plane and showed up on her doorstep. Cheating as well gets ramped up a notch or two. Another woman described to me how her high-level not only had multiple affairs, he also apparently arranged extravagant vacations with each so that they ran back to back. She discovered that her narc was putting on his best face for all trips, so much so that each woman thought for sure that a marriage proposal was imminent. Can you imagine that? Oh my God. Certainly low levels string more than one target along all the time, but they have to work a whole lot harder because they don't have as many resources. Having money makes the process of compartmentalizing that much easier. Okay, so while it may appear to be a concrete method of figuring them out to slip narcs into files like cerebral and somatic and classic, I don't know why, but that just has never worked for me. Okay, my thinking is that if these categories were pertinent, there would be a long list of behaviors exclusive for each one. And to me, there just isn't. Okay. Every one of the target partners I've spoken with, whether they had money, the money made the big difference. But as for whether they were cerebral, somatic, histrionic, or whatever they say, malignant, no. To me, it's like we've all been hanging out with the same guy. Okay, sure, one narc may be a little smarter than the next one, or more educated, or better in bed, or funnier, or better with lies on the fly, or whatever. But these variances in the long run are nothing compared to the narcissistic behaviors that we all experience. The silent treatment, the soulmate effect, disappearances, reappearances, the cell phone game, word garbage, pathological lying. So all things in a narcissist land being equal, the only thing that I see that makes any significant difference at all is money. A narc with money creates the 5-star deception. And the 5-star deception means hell for anyone caught up in the narcissist fairy tale. You must be willing to let the 5-star lifestyle go in order to recover. And this is the hardest part that I hear from people. And how can you, when you imagine him, you're a narc, on, like, say, a cruise with somebody else, or, taking them out to dinner where he used to take you. I mean, there's so many more things to be hung up on that will, impede your recovery. You've got to be willing to realize that it is a deception and that you are worth far more than the most expensive vacation that the narc can take you on. What good is an extravagant vacation or a beautiful gift if it has the potential to be a very bad memory? Always remember that even with all his money, he will still use you more than you can ever even begin to use him, even with all his money. The only way to win is to go no contact and stay no contact. Whether the narcissist has money or not, his bad is still as good as he's ever going to get. Okay, everybody. Thank you for listening today. I appreciate the time that you put into my videos. Be sure to hit those bells and buttons and to visit me at my blog, thenarcissisticpersonality.com, and to come back often to my YouTube channel. And you can find my books on Amazon, iTunes, and anywhere else. Barnes and Nobles, and consults are available. I'm glad to talk with you about it. I can help you get through all this. Recovery has got to be a team effort. I get it. I really do. I will see you next time. This is Ari Ballard, and this is the When Love is a Lie video podcast. Hit that subscribe button.